Do you know what scares people the most? It's not failure. It's not rejection. It's not even death. It's solitude. The thought of being alone, truly alone, sends shivers down their spine. But here's the truth no one wants to admit. Solitude isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace. Being alone strips away the noise. All the voices telling you who you should be, what you should do, and how you should live, they fall silent. And what's left? Just you, your raw, unfiltered self. That's where the magic begins. In a world obsessed with connection, social media, endless texts, constant notifications, we've forgotten the art of solitude. We've been told that being alone is synonymous with being lonely. But solitude is not loneliness. Loneliness is being surrounded by people who don't see you, don't hear you, and don't care about the real you. Solitude, though, is choosing to step back, to reconnect with yourself. Think of it like this. When you're in a crowded room, you can't hear your own thoughts. The laughter, the chatter, the music, it drowns out everything. But step outside, into the quiet of the night, and suddenly, you can hear your own heartbeat. That's solitude. Have you ever seen the strongest warriors in movies or read about them in stories? They're not the ones constantly surrounded by people. They're the ones who train alone in the mountains, who meditate under the stars, who prepare in silence while the world sleeps. Why? Because strength is born in solitude. When you're alone, you confront yourself. You face your fears, your doubts, your insecurities. There's no one to distract you from them, no one to point fingers at. It's just you and your reflection. And that's hard. It's brutal, but it's necessary. Because in that confrontation, you grow, you learn, you become. Take a moment and think about the people you've looked up to, the artists, the inventors, the leaders, the visionaries. Do you think they reached greatness by following the crowd? No, they spent hours, days, sometimes years in solitude, honing their craft, shaping their vision, and building their strength. Solitude is where you find clarity. It's where you ask the big questions. Who am I? What do I want? What matters to me? And the answers don't come all at once. They come in whispers, in fragments, in quiet realizations that hit you when you least expect them. But here's the thing. Solitude isn't always easy. There will be moments when it feels like the walls are closing in, when the silence feels deafening, when the weight of your thoughts feels too heavy to bear. And in those moments, it's tempting to run, to seek out distractions, to fill the void with noise. But resist that urge. Sit with the discomfort. Lean into it, because that's where the growth happens. There's a quote that says, "If you're lonely when you're alone, you're in bad company." Think about that. If you can't stand to be with yourself, why should anyone else? Solitude teaches you to be your own best friend, your own cheerleader, your own rock. And the irony? Once you learn to be okay with being alone, you stop feeling lonely, because you realize that you don't need others to complete you. You are whole. You are enough. Let me share a story. There was a man who lost everything. His job, his friends, his family. He was left with nothing but the clothes on his back and the thoughts in his head. At first, he spiraled into despair. He blamed the world, the people who left him, the circumstances that betrayed him. But then, one day, sitting alone in a small, empty room, he had an epiphany. He realized that he had spent his entire life trying to fit in, trying to please others, trying to be what they wanted him to be. And in doing so, he had lost himself. But now, in his solitude, he had a chance to find himself again. So he began to rebuild, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. He discovered talents he didn't know he had, passions he had long buried, and strength he never imagined. When he eventually stepped back into the world, he did so on his own terms. And the people who had abandoned him, they didn't matter anymore, because he had found something far more valuable, himself. That's the power of solitude. It's a reset button, a chance to start over, to strip away the layers of expectation and rediscover who you truly are. And here's the best part. When you learn to thrive in solitude, you become unstoppable. The opinions of others lose their grip on you. The fear of rejection fades away, because you know that no matter what happens, you have your own back. So, If you're in a season of solitude, don't fight it. Embrace it. Use it. Let it be a time of healing, of growth, of transformation. Dive deep into your passions. Explore the things that ignite your soul. Take walks in nature. Write, paint, dream. Because when the time comes to rejoin the world, you'll do so as a stronger, wiser, more authentic version of yourself. And to those who pity you, who look down on you for being alone, don't waste your energy proving them wrong. Let your success, your peace, your glow speak for itself. It's okay to be alone. In fact, it's more than okay. It's powerful. It's transformative. And it just might be the best gift you ever give yourself. So take a deep breath. Let the world fade into the background and step into the quiet with confidence. You've got this.